Some paperwork need to be done and cleared. And hopefully we can get him by the next game. Moroshe, I think he was only cleared for 1 week. He
AIA Vitality. Your health is every choice you make. We are part of a global wellness program with over 1.65 million members in AIA across Asia. And in Singapore, we have more than 100,000 members on AIA Vitality. Members live healthier by knowing their health through online health assessments and screenings. They improve their health by logging exercises and enjoying the rewards to keep them going. And indeed, members are making improvements in their health. Even the vitality age gap has narrowed to less than a year. Best of all, you earn points for every activity. The higher your status, the greater the rewards, including up to 15% off insurance premium on selected AIA plans. To keep you going, there is the weekly fitness challenge, with personalized targets to help pace and improve your fitness. When you complete the challenge, you get a spin on the Vitality Wheel to earn Vitality Coins, which you can use at the marketplace. That's not all. You also earn AIA Vitality Points for completing these activities. And very soon, you'll be on your way to Platinum status. And we sweeten the deal further with many exciting partner benefits that you can enjoy. With AIA Vitality, nothing gets better than a healthier you. So get on to AIA Vitality today because your health is every choice you make.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Tampines Hub as the opening weekend of the 2021 AIA Singapore Premier League season continues with the Eagles against the Jaguars. It's Geylang International taking on Tanjong Pagar United, rock bottom and winless last season. It's 2,334 days since they last won an SPL game. Is this afternoon going to be the day when that changes? Really looking forward to this one. Both teams, like so many across the 8 clubs in the SPL, have been busy in the transfer window, which should lead to some exciting debuts and some exciting changes to the kind of football we saw from both Geylang and Tanjong Pagar United last season. Yes, transfer windows have been bustling across the Singapore Premier League. Geylang International bringing in 2 very interesting signings. Unfortunately, there's no Silvano Cornelius today. He is still awaiting some final paperwork to be sorted, but they can call upon from the bench Moresh, a Brazilian who previously has tried his luck in Belarus and formerly of Riga in Iceland. Isdin and Faizo, along with Ikram, 3 signings from the Lion City Sailors to give them great strength in depth. As for Tanjong Pagar United, well, Ria Nishiguchi, a title winner with Albrecht Nagata, is now a Jag. Karel Amri is a known quantity. He comes here after Felder folded at the end of the last Malaysian season. And the one that stands out, obviously, a previous SPL title winner, Blake Lithiuto with Brunei DPMM. The Australian with that very distinctive sideshow bob haircut could be the man to unlock the potential of Tanjong Pagar United. So it's almost time for the talking to stop and the action to start for these 2 teams. Almost, but not quite, because our superstar Farah Nair has been downstairs earlier on, catching up with both the leading lights for the respective clubs. We'll hear from the famed No Alam Shah, the team manager of Tanjong Pagar United, shortly. But first, let's catch up with Farah. She's with Geylang International's head coach, Noor Ali.
Noor Ali, I'm sure it's so good to be back here and to basically get your season going. Now, you've made a few notable signings in Silvano Convalius and Mateo Moresh, but I heard that they might not be starting today. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Convalius definitely will not play any part in the game because basically he has not. There's some paperwork need to be done and cleared. And hopefully we can get him by the next game. Moresh, I think he was only cleared for 1 week. He just finished quarantine last week, and then and I don't think he has cleared everything, and he's be on the bench. Hopefully you can see a bit of him today.
Now maybe you might not see the both of them, but your squad is still pretty much strong enough to get out there and get a result today. So like I said, you brought in some big players, but so have your opponents, not just new players, but also highly experienced players as well in the form of Khairul Amri and Ridwan Muhammad. So I feel like today might be a little bit of a challenge, wouldn't it?
I think it's always a challenge from day one, because everything is every team is eager to go out there and get good results on day one. But saying that, we know this is not Tanjong Pagar last year. This is a different Tanjong Pagar. I think they have already strengthened out with Khairul Amri and bringing Rio and then bringing Blake, and these players are big players who are mentally strong, and even they have strengthened up their coaching staff. So for us, is definitely we want to go out there and just give a good fight. Yeah.
No, Alam Shah, I'm sure everyone is raring to go today. You're up against Geylang International in your opening match. What are your thoughts ahead of today?
It's very exciting. This year we got a lot of time to prepare, and then the boys also understand what style of play that we want to implement for this season, and to emphasize on our realistic target will be just to improve on ourselves last season, to get our first win, and improve our 5 points, and then the goal for of 14 goals must be improved, and the goal conceded of 33 goals. So that is the realistic target at this present moment. After that, then we can move on to another targets again.
So you said that you just basically wanted to improve on last season. So is the 3 points and that first win all that matters tonight?
Of course, it will boost the moral of the clubs, the fans, our players especially, because these 3 points will open up new dimension to our mental approach towards the whole season. So we are looking forward to getting these 3 points today.
Nice to hear from both managers, Noel Amshar and Noor Ali, two real characters of the Singapore scene as the players arrive on the pitch here at our Tampines Hub. Kick-off now just moments away. We'll keep you up to date with the other game that's going on simultaneously at Jalan Besar, which was the scene of that incredible 3-0 draw between the Sailors and the Stags yesterday. The Young Lions take on Balestier Khalsa. But we focus here on Geylang and Tanjong Pagar United. A glorious afternoon for football. Our match officials, led by referee Lim Liang Yi, getting ready for action as well. Really intrigued to see the improvement that the new signings can bring when it comes to Tanjong Pagar United. And of course, Noor Ali's one shrewd cookie. He's already guided to Geylang an AFC Cup place for this season, where they'll be playing in Singapore, which I'm sure is great news for the club, amongst the likes of KA of the Philippines, Shan United of Myanmar and Terengganu of Malaysia. But that, of course, is in the future in June. Now they have to focus on trying to improve on the fourth place finish from last season. The two skippers meeting for the coin toss in the shade, which I'm sure will be delighting them, because the sun's just setting here. The floodlights are already on, but part of the pitch is still bathed in sunshine, where the other part is in shade. The two skippers for Eats for Tanjong Pagar United and Yuki Ichikawa for Geylang. Here are the starting lineups. Geylang International see Isdin straight into the starting lineup after joining from the Lion City Sailors. But there are some real Geylang mainstays there, none more so than Yuki Ichikawa, the longest serving foreign talent in the league. Now Jordan Webber's departed from Tampines to Canada. Great to see some youngsters getting their chance as well. They can call upon Matthias Moresh from the bench, their Brazilian import, and Farid Farham, one of the most experienced players in the league, is available if needed off the bench as well for Noor Ali. A real atmosphere here, even though the fans are not as loud inside the stadium. There are small pockets, you can't hide it. The drums are buzzing, everyone's still observing safe distancing, and many, I'm sure, of the Jaguar force are out in force to see if Tanjong Pagar United can pick up that first win for over 2,000 days. Delvinder Singh, the enigmatic and volatile centre-back, is the mainstay of their defence, alongside the skipper Farid. Rio Nishiguchi's a great signing. Blake Rithutio as well, a title winner before with DPMM. And what about Luis Jr.? Had that terrible injury, the broken leg that he bounced back from, having suffered it against Albrechts. He still managed to net plenty of goals last season, 7, despite his limited opportunities, and he is a real talent. Yes, they've lost Jan Motta, but look at that. Now they can call upon the likes of Khairul Amri from the bench. It's certainly a vast improvement on the squad for that man's side. Noel Amshar, well, what a figure he was in the Singapore football scene as a player, and alongside the head coach Hazrin Jalani, I really do think, and it sounds silly, I know, bearing in mind they didn't win a game last season, I think they are one of the best coached teams in the division. There's this real team spirit about them, and that first win can't be too far away. There you see the distinctive hairstyle of Blake Rithutio, which made him such a cult figure in Australia with the Rockdale City Suns. And you can see, I think, he's taking a leading part in that team talk. Talk about what a character Noor Ali Shah is. You've got to love Noor Ali, a real mainstay of the Singapore football scene as both a player and now as a manager. He's one of the good guys, and he'll be hoping, as you heard when he spoke to Farah earlier, that he can get his season off to a winning start. So can you pick the scoreline here? It's going to be a fascinating encounter. Geylang International in their green playing left to right. Tanjong Pagar in the red playing right to left. The opening weekend of the 2021 AIA Singapore Premier League continues here at OTH. You're watching it live on Singtel, Star Hub, the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page and One Play Sports. And away we go. Early touch for Isdin. That familiar wide gate of Isdin. Don't let the stature deceive you. He's a real talent, just getting the ball lost under his feet there, but no red shirts near him. He's certainly a man that can pick a pass, and he's tried to pick a pass there to play them in over on that left-hand side, and he found a green shirt as well. First touch after 2 seasons in the SPL for Blake Lithiuto. As the first 30 seconds are slightly unremarkable, but the first 4 minutes were unremarkable at Jalan Besar yesterday before Song Yong started the scoring. Oh, look at that from Lewis Jr. Wonderful work from the Tanjong Pagar United number 9. Yeah, picking it up in lots of space here is Zikos Chua, one of the under-23 players, and there's the free kick. Just to correct myself as well there, change of numbers for Tanjong Pagar United. Lewis Jr. wearing 10, and of course that blonde mop with that wonderful piece of skill was Ryo Nishiguchi, who himself was a title winner with Albrecht's Nagata last season. So you can see, despite the fact that Tanjong Pagar United were basement boys last year, they now have 2 title winners in their ranks. Referee just wanting that free kick retaken because the ball was moving. Faisal gets it to Darren Tay. So used to seeing Darren Tay getting forward positions down that right-hand side, and there is a foul. That's Lewis Jr., the big number 10. He's got to be the biggest junior on the pitch. A real talent who came back from that shocking broken leg injury that he picked up at Jurong East against Albrecht's Nagata last season. Oh, what a touch that is from Barry Maguire. He's sandwiched out of it, and Blake Lithiuto concedes the free kick. He's holding the ball up to Lim Liang Yi to suggest he collected it, but referee not interested. So it's a set-piece opportunity, and just wants to calm down Barry Maguire here, Lim Liang Yi. Blake also still asking some questions of the official after that decision, but what it has done, he's not going to change his mind now. It's given Geylang a really interesting set-piece opportunity, and Isdin, a wizard from a set-piece, is there. Surely too far out to have a crack. I'm sure Fashar Iskander will be factoring that into how he organises the defence for this. They're keeping a high line on the edge of the area. What's Isdin going to do here? Dink it over the top for a run. That's exactly what he does. The runs come, and it's headed behind. No messing around from Delwinder Singh. His first touch of the season sees Geylang win their first corner of the campaign with just under 3 minutes on the clock. You heard from Noor Ali Shah. Their main objective is to pick up their first win and prove their points tally of 5, and obviously concede less than the 33 they did in the 2-round season last campaign. We're back to 3 rounds this, so more games, but I'm sure we'll be working it out on a pro-rata basis. Probably would like to concede less than 33 even in 3 rounds if he could. Corner comes in, decent delivery, headed away by Blake. Only as far as Isdin on the edge of the area, whose right-footed shot is scuffed wide, and Tanjong Pagar survive their first Geylang assault, and it's a goal kick. Yeah, Isdin, who struggled for opportunities with that action-packed star-studded Lions City Sailor squad last season, was featured more often than not off the substitutes bench. If he strikes that sweeter next time, it might be a different outcome. These short goal kicks, which I know the football purists are a fan of, but they always leave me as a neutral with my heart in my mouth. Oh, Nishiguchi, Darren Tay. Gets there first. Now, it's great to see. I've just checked in on the Facebook page, on the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page. Great to see so many of you embracing the SPL at the start of this season in these incredibly tough times that we've endured during COVID-19. These games, remember, live on Singleton and Star, if you prefer the television viewing experience as well. Action's coming thick and fast. A full match day on Wednesday, ahoy as well for both these clubs. All 8 clubs will play on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, another very similar set-piece opportunity. The previous one ultimately came to nothing. On Wednesday, Tanjong Pagar at home to the Lion City Sailors. Big game for them. Geylang will go to Geylang, as that's planed out the air comfortably by Fashara Iskander. But it's all Geylang early, isn't it? They're enjoying the majority of the possession through these first 5 minutes. And if you are watching on Facebook, don't be shy. Let us know what your correct score prediction is here. Football is a game of opinions. Everyone has one. Certainly in Singapore, everyone has one, that's for sure. Keep you up to date as well with what's happening in our other game at Jalan Besar. They're also underway between the Young Lions and Balestier Khalsa. Isdin's having more touches than any other player on the pitch to this point. That can only be good for his confidence, having suffered for match time last season. Darren Tay gets it back to Elijah Lim, another youngster getting an opportunity here with Geylang this season. A reminder, there'll be a water break midway through each half and 3 substitutes. And thank the heavens we haven't got VAR in Singapore yet. That's one development I don't think many people want to see. Oh, there's a late little nip by Rishaldi. Rishaldi with a little bit late there. And it's another free kick. Well, this is one-way traffic early on. They haven't really created any opportunities other than that long-range effort that came in from Isdin after the corner was half cleared. But one of the characteristics, if you like, of Tanjong Pagar's play last season, yes, they didn't win a game, but they were very rarely put to the sword. Didn't get too many thumpings in their ledger last season, and they have got a threat coming forward. The corresponding fixture here, incidentally, last season was only a 2-1 win to Geylang, and that's held up awkwardly. An opportunity for Adi Putradita to attack, but it goes through for the first touch of the afternoon to Zainul. Aguar loses out to Blake Lisiuto. Of course, interestingly, one of Geylang's goals last season was scored by a player who lines up against them today, Sharin Sabarin. He scored the first of those goals in that 2-1 win for Geylang. They went 2-0 up, and I suppose in truth were relatively comfortable in that match, and because of the truncated nature of the season, they actually played each other twice in a fortnight then. 2 Geylang goals that day coming from Sharin and Fariz Farhan, who starts on the bench today. Lewis Jr. 10 minutes in the end, making it interesting with one of his 7 goals of the campaign. There's a nice shot of one of the youngsters for Tanjong Pagar United, Nufal Ilham. But they've got plenty of height and physical presence, Tanjong Pagar United, so they'll probably want to try and take opportunities of set pieces. When you're struggling and you're not enjoying much possession, set pieces is where you tend to get the most of your joy. Rishiadi with his free kick, another high line on the edge of the area. Blake is loitering, as is Luis Jr. and Nishiguchi. Fell there to Faritz. There was a shout of handball. I'm not sure which side was being accused of handling it. Geylang could be in business though on the quick counter-attack. Amy's in acres of space. Is Amy going to be onside here? The flag stays down. Amy's through on goal, support in the middle. Amy! No penalty. Took a bit of a gamble there. Did Shodai Nishikawa, and he got away with it. And that's a real opportunity gone begging for Geylang, because Amy Reka timed his run to perfection. The ball was a good one, but just couldn't cut inside to get a meaningful shot away. And despite the robust challenge of Nishikawa, Lim Yang Yi waved away what were ultimately quite half-hearted penalty appeals. Let's have a look at it again. Good quick break. It was a really nice first touch from Elijah Lim. And then when the ball came in, he looks offside from that angle, doesn't he? But the assistant referee's flag stayed down, and Shoda Nishikawa had to be very careful there. Amy Reka, I think, was looking for more support than he was getting. Only one green shirt arriving in the penalty area. So we only had to wait 5 minutes for a goal yesterday. No goals so far across the 2 games. Well, this isn't ideal for Geylang. The stretch is out already, and in these COVID times, referees are far less inclined to call for the stretcher, and what a disaster this could be for them. It looks like Barry Maguire is in some discomfort. I wouldn't mind if, I think it's straightforward actually to check out what happened to him there. It looked pretty innocuous. I don't think there was anything untoward from a Tanjong Pagar United player. I think he might have just fallen uncomfortably. Well, there are, just to confirm to you, they're not in the stadium, and to their credit, and there are safe distance ambassadors all over our Tampines Hub complex. They aren't on top of each other, as the first change is going to be made very early from Geylang. Not part of Noor Ali's plan, this, with only 3 substitutions allowed this season. And of course, you do not want to lose a player of Barry Maguire's calibre. But what it's going to do, it's going to give, much earlier than we expected, a first look at the Singapore Premier League for a real promising and talented Brazilian import. Matthias Moresh, we didn't get to see Diego Lopez yesterday as poor old Barry Maguire goes off. I'm sure Farinair is downstairs trying to find out what the injury is, but we will get a look, and this could be an exciting development for the Singapore Premier League. The man they call Moresh, to give him his correct title, Matthias Celestino Moresh Rodriguez, a 22-year-old Brazilian. And how good is it when you get to see young Brazilians coming in still at the real beginning of their career. He spent some time last season in Belarus, which was one of the leagues that carried on through COVID-19. He officially signed from Riga in Latvia, but he's on for Barry Maguire inside 12 minutes. So welcome to Singapore, Marish. Let's see if Marish, one of these many numbered new signings that have come in across the 8 clubs, can light up the division. Yes, I'll advise you when Farinair lets us know what the issue is. And of course, I suppose to a certain extent, it's like for like with a midfield man coming on for a midfield man, but I'm sure Noor Ali would have rather that Maguire and Marish were playing together, and I hate to say it, but the way that Maguire was stretched off there might be something serious. You just don't like to see it right at the start of a season. Barry Maguire, of course, actually missed the opening game of last campaign against Albirex Niigata, as a late challenge comes in on Nishiguchi there and the free kick is given. Yes, he missed the opening game of last season, missed the first couple, I think, because of issues with his employment pass. That was a game to forget, the opening day of last season, when Geylang suffered 2 red cards and got absolutely annihilated by Albirex Niigata. There's penalised there was Elijah Lim. Great to see Elijah Lim, though, getting involved early. Lewis Jr. is up for that. Luzes out to Yuki Ichikawa. And I'm being told by Farinair downstairs that it's a hamstring. It looked worse than that. I feared it might have been maybe a knee issue, the way he went down on the turf, but it's a hamstring for Barry Maguire, which unfortunately would almost certainly rule him out of their game on Wednesday. You would fancy, as mentioned, Geylang at Hougang on Wednesday, in which is our feature game on Wednesday night. We'll be having a full pre-show and half-time show alongside our colour analyst for the season, Roshan Rai. We head to Hougang for that one on Wednesday. All the other games will also be live across the social media channels, and don't forget, matches live on Singtel and StarHub this season. So no goals so far at either Jalan Besar or here at our Tampines Hub. Well, with the throw is Tanjong Pagar trying to take advantage of that early change that they've had to make. Nishikawa unable to make it happen, and now that's an ambitious ball spread to the left-hand side by Marish. His first touch, not necessarily a golden one. Moresh, the new number 10 for Geylang. Very disappointing, obviously. We mentioned it, didn't we, not being able to see the 2 Lion City import players yesterday. I'd imagine we will see them sooner rather than later. Obviously, a lot of anticipation over Diego Lopez with the huge transfer fee of 3 million Singapore dollars that was paid. But I'm told that they're very hopeful about the left-footed centre-back George Felipe as well. There's another free kick. They can't keep giving these away. Can't be long before the cards come out here by Lim Liang Yi. I think he was going to the pocket momentarily there, but maybe thought better of it. Maybe going for the spray paint instead to make sure the Wolves back 10, but they're treading a tightrope here. They're not nasty fouls, but they're all a little bit cynical as they just appear to be a little bit off the pace. And it's Rushiadi again. That's not the first foul he's committed. Who's the guilty party? I think they've been a bit unfortunate here, Geylang. That ball has gone back, I think, a little bit further back from where the foul was committed. Isdin's not over it this time. And Faisal Iskandar might, for the first time this afternoon, have a shot to save here. So, quarter of an hour gone. We'd already had 2 goals by this point at Jalan Besar yesterday, but this is a prime piece of real estate to try and get this up and over the wall. And it's also up and over the bar, unfortunately, so they're giving up some reasonable opportunities here, Geylang, early without making Faisal Iskandar really have to do much work. And Amy Rekka's effort over the bar and out of harm's way. Teams met twice last season, of course, in what was a 2-round campaign. 3-0 win at Jurong East for Geylang, and a 2-1 win here. Faisal Iskandar's distribution there, a bit wide of the mark there from Genius Sports, our official stats partners. You can see Geylang 2 shots. Tanjong Pagar not really made Zainul do a tap of work yet. Someone should give him a deck chair and a copy of the Straits Times and a pair of slippers, the amount of stuff he's having to do at the moment. More Geylang pressure. That's not the best ball looking for Amy, though. Tanjong Pagar able to clear, but they're coming again with Darren Tay. Darren Tay might challenge for this, and Darren Tay wins it brilliantly. Darren Tay waiting in the middle. Zikos Chua, but it's cleared away. Well, it's a question of one-way traffic right at the minute. But Geylang still not really looking like the breakthrough is imminent. Darren Tay with the throw. Possession stats through the early stages of this one will be interesting. Zikos Chua, that's not a bad cross, you know, headed down, could drop anywhere, and there's a penalty going to be given here. Well, the pressure was going to tell you felt eventually, and maybe it's a penalty they need, Geylang, to finally put the goal under real pressure. They've dominated this conclusively, and they will get a penalty, and it's the Brazilian Moraes that's going to step up to take it, it looks like. Wonderful cross this from Zikos Chua. It was an intelligent header down into the turf as well. And the penalty's awarded. Zikos Chua has a lot of credit with that right-footed cross. It looked a bit innocuous, but Lim Liang Yi was right there. So Moraes against Faisal Iskandar to score his first goal in Singapore football and Geylang's first goal of the 2021 season. Can Faisal Iskandar make himself a hero, or is this going to be the first of many Moraes goals in 2021? It's going to be the latter. Moraes sends Faisal Iskandar the wrong way, and the Brazilians off the mark in the Lion City state. Noor Ali not showing much emotion, but he won the penalty and he converts it as well. I've got a feeling we're seeing the first of many new players we've got to keep a real close eye on in Singapore this season. He won the penalty, he grabbed the ball, he wanted to take it. And they lead by a goal to nil. Blake with Thiuto, spraying the ball out wide. That's going to hold up as well. There's work to do here. Geylang might end up conceding a corner note. It came off the Tanjong Pagar man last, and it's behind for a goal kick. Well, that will really please Norali. I'm sure he's not been delighted with what they've done with the majority of possession they've enjoyed so far. But to be able to get that penalty opportunity to just take the pressure off to a certain extent. And speaking of early goals, doesn't look like at this stage we're going to get a shock here. We might be getting a shock at Jalan-Besar. The Young Lions lead Balestier Khalsa by a goal to nil. Young Lions 1, Balestier Khalsa 0 at Jalan-Besar, and all of a sudden at the other end here, Tanjong Pagar United with a chance to get back on level terms with a promising set-piece opportunity won by their new man, Blake Rithiuto. So, Rusciadi, who's been a bit of a nuisance and conceded some free kicks at the other end, I would imagine is going to have a go here. It's only a two-man wall. What can he do here? Rusciadi, looking for a touch! Great save, and the shot that came in from Lewis Jr. was blocked. Well, Zainal did really well there because it was a teasing free kick. There's more defending to do. Anything Moresh can do, Blake Rithiuto can do as well. A Brazilian at one end, an Aussie at the other. And 20 minutes in, we're tied at one apiece. With their first attacking foray, the man with the distinctive hair has leveled it up. And the title winner with Brunei from 2019 is off the mark as a Jaguar. It was a really good free kick, this, from Rusciadi. It was initial good goalkeeping from Zainal, but his defence didn't back him up with managing to clear. Lots of credit should go to Sharin Sabarin as well. And they were just sharper to it, weren't they? Blake Rithiuto makes it Geylang International 1, Tanjong Pagar United 1. Well, back to the live action we need to go because they've already kicked off and restarted. Plenty's happened. Well, that's set things up nicely. Tanjong Pagar United, 2,334 days since their last win. Looked like it was going to be at least another 3 days in the ledger ahead of their next game on Wednesday, but they've levelled up instantaneously. The lead lasted just over 60 seconds, would you believe? And here they come again. Well, maybe that's an indication why Noor Ali wasn't getting too excited. Blake Rithiuto, who scored 9 goals for Brunei DPMM in 2019 in their title-winning campaign. And as Moresh struck home that penalty, Blake Rithiuto was thinking, I want some of that debut goal-scoring action. Harith Kanadi with a free kick. Farid. It's important they got back into the game quickly, you feel, Tanjong Pagar United, because the way the game was being played out, you felt it was only a matter of time before they were under another attacking onslaught. As it is, that's going to create some uncertainty in Geylang's mind now. And we saw that really, didn't we, yesterday when the Sailors went into a 2-0 lead inside 6 minutes. It's almost like they couldn't believe it either. They took their foot off the gas, and when Tampines got the 1 goal back, even though they trailed for large parts of that game, you just always sense that Tampines were going to get something from it. So, Tanjong Pagar United are 100% this season on their forays into penalty areas and getting goals. Plenty of work to do yet, though. Just midway point of the first half. That's looking for Amy again. Amy to the edge of the area. Great touch, Amy! Whistle past the left-hand post to Faisal Iskander. I'll give the Jaguars keeper the benefit of the doubt that he got his angles right, but that looked destined at one point for the bottom corner. Amy Reckon with a lovely touch to create the space to get the shot away. He left Farid standing. It just whistles wide. Well, we had 6 goals at Jalan yesterday, 4 at Jurong East. We've already had 2 at OTH and 1 at Jalan again today. The Singapore Premier League is back. It's game on. And bringing back the roar starts with bringing back the passion to the Singapore Premier League. And great again to see so many of you watching it live across the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page and One Play Sports as well. We saw that wonderful initiative announced by the FAS and Sports Singapore last week of bringing back the roar. And of course that's going to involve wonderful investment at grassroots and youth level to try and put more Singaporeans on the pathway to footballing stardom. But for the here and now, it won't happen unless we get behind our league, and Geylang and Tanjong Pagar have given us an action-packed start here as we go to the first drinks break with 25 minutes on the clock. There you see the ultras, socially distancing, I hope. Make sure you keep some distance between yourselves, boys. I've managed to spot in one of the other nooks and crannies the Jaguar Force as well. Shout out to the Jaguar Force, great supporters of the league, as we get a look at Marish slotting home that penalty that he won in the 19th minute to give Geylang the lead. And here's the equaliser after a wonderful cross from Shahin Sabarin, and Blake Lithiuto reacted quickest. 1-1 here as we're back underway already. And credit as well to the officials. We want none of this 2 or 3 minute water breaks. We're just going to get them over and done with very quickly to not interrupt the flow of this game. Talking yesterday with Roshan on the big show building up to the Sailors and the Stags. I'm not just saying this with hyperbole in mind or false advertising. On paper, this is the most competitive Singapore Premier League season for many, many a season. And let's hope it gives us plenty more of the same that we've enjoyed so far through the first 2 days. Or was that handball there from Darren Tay? There was a brief shout. Blake Lithiuto with a high foot, he'll be penalised. And the free kick will go to Geylang. Don't think you can overestimate how important Tanjong Pagar scoring quickly was, because you can already see Geylang have been rocked by that. The way the game had started and the way they won that penalty and slotted at home, I think they may have thought, well, this is just going to be a question of how many. But one thing, and it was evident last season as well, that Noel Amshar and his coaching staff have instilled in this Tanjong Pagar United side is team spirit. Now last year, of course, that team spirit had to compensate for what by their own admission would have been a lack of strength and depth in the squad. But this season, they have added some strength and depth and some real accomplished players, title winners no less. So they've got that extra bit of quality that should help them compete on a slightly more even footing. Moresh, who he looks a player, this boy. He's only been on the pitch for 5 minutes. He already looks a player. Moresh sprays that wide, lovely to Amy. I'm sure Moresh is trying to wait to get in the end of this in the area. Cross comes in. Headed away, but Harith Kanadi. Oh, heavy touch from Harith Kanadi. They'll have the free kick here, much to the disappointment, or the throw-in, I should say, apologies, much to the disappointment of Tanjong Pagar United, who I believe that took a deflection. It was Shahin Sabarin who got the important clearance from that, as Harith Kanadi's over to take the throw. So, the two favourites going into today's games, Geylang and Balestier. Geylang have thrown away a lead already, and the Young Lions lead Balestier Khalsa early. Best of luck to Philip Orr, who's taken over the coaching of the Young Lions, and it's young Joel Chu, the signing from Tampines Rovers, who's got his first Young Lions goal. So Young Lions leading by a 1-0 at their home ground of Jalan Besar for this season. Yeah, Nasir obviously indisposed, having been taken very unwell in recent months. Everyone's best wishes on the AIA Singapore Premier League team, and everyone from One Play Sports. We wish Nasir all the best. Philippe Orr stepping in to take over. Oh, Faisal Iskander, I think his defence didn't help him there. They almost played him into a bit of bother there. Darren Tay with the throw. Geylang starting to build up another head of steam. The last time they had one of these, they managed to win a penalty. Darren Tay gets it back to Faisal. Faisal, one of that trio of signings that have come into Geylang from the Lion City Sailors, along with Isdin and Ikram. It's over the top. Is Amy Retcher onside? He might be! That was a very important interjection from Nishikawa. Took it off the toes of Amy Retcher, who I think thought he was just about to smash that past Faisal Iskander. It will lead to another corner. The second corner of the match. Amy making a nuisance of himself right in front of Faisal Iskander. Over to deliver is Hadi Putradia. Plays it short, clever move, Darren Tay. Nice teasing cross, can anyone get on the end of it? They can! Can they put it away? They can't. Still not cleared. Oh my word, they've headed it straight into the path of Faisal, but now they managed to get it away. And that's going to be a free kick for the foul on Luiz Jr. Oh, we don't want to see Luiz Jr. injured. He's going down, half holding that left ankle. I think he's going to be okay. Isdin going over to check. But that was a real chance for Geylang there. Uncertainty in that Tanjong Pagar defence that conceded 33 goals this season. Was there a tug on the shirt of Yuki Ichikawa? There might have been as well. I think they were looking for a half-hand ball shout there, but the referee, Lim Liang Yi's, made a good decision. It's had a good game so far, the referee, but Noor Ali will be a bit uncomfortable watching this because they are dominating to an extent. They are the better side, but ultimately the scoreboard's not reflecting that. I must have missed what happened there with that free kick. It seems to have been taken 20 yards back. We're over the half-hour mark here. Still Geylang International 1, Tanjong Pagar United 1. Maresh from the penalty spot. Only minutes after coming on after 90 minutes with poor old Barry Maguire. Stretched it off with a hamstring problem. And then only 90 seconds later, Blake Odisiuto, his 10th goal in Singapore Premier League history, his first this season and his first for his new club, levelling it up. Meanwhile, over at Chanabasar, Joel Chu's first goal for the Young Lions. He's given the outsiders the lead there. I'm just trying to check my records. He did score one goal for Tampines Rovers, Joel Chu. So in half an hour, he's already matched his goal tally for his stint at Tampines Rovers. Just half an hour as a Young Lion. It will be interesting to see how the Young Lions do as well, because obviously the attention's been focused on the likes of Maresh, the likes of Felipe, the likes of Diego Lopez, the marquee signings. Blake Ricciotto fits into that category as well, but the Young Lions have strengthened, I think, in the close season also. Oh, that's a really intelligent ball. There are three green shirts forward here. Amy Reck has been a nuisance the whole game. Maresh making the run. It might still come to him, you know. Oh, the Brazilian with the back flick. The tricks are all well and good. You've got to make sure there's another green shirt to get on the end of it. Ricciardi. Amy Recker. Maresh can't get it past Ricciardi, and they'll have to make do with the throw. Darren Tay, Maresh, locked by Ricciardi again. On the bench, obviously, they've had to use one of their changes already, Geylang bringing on Maresh. They've also got Adam Akeem for Eats Farhan. For Tanjong Pagar United, a familiar name, or several familiar names to Singapore football fans. Carol Amri, back in Singapore from Felder, is available to be called upon, as that just got lost under the feet of Zikos Chua. They still can't get it away convincingly though. Blake Ricciotto eventually doing enough off the deflection of Isdin to give Tanjong Pagar United a goal kick. Yes, Carol Amri on the bench today for Tanjong Pagar United. Also Emerick Kong. Great to see Emerick back in the Singapore football scene, and Suhairi Sabri. Faisal Iskander urges his teammates to go forward. Already, we've played 33 minutes here. It's been intriguing, hasn't it? Quality maybe not as high going forward as we saw from the Sailors in Tampines yesterday, but it's been nonetheless another half of football that's whizzed by, which can only be a good thing. There's a little nudge and a cheap free kick for the foul on Hadi Putradia. Isdin strutting his displeasure to Lim Liang Yi. Well, the last time Rushiadi managed to put in a free kick delivery. It led to something special. They've played it quick and gone back this time to Faritz. Faritz again to Rushiadi. Rushiadi runs straight into his din, and Amy Recker can start to bring it away. Here's Moresh. Oh, Blake Ricciota. Welcome to Singapore, he says to Moresh there. The two goal scorers colliding. Inside to Zikos. Here's Moresh. Moresh finds Darren Tay. Slight miscontrol, but Darren Tay's got enough time and space to recover there. And it's this right-hand side where they're delivering the punishing crosses at the moment, Geylang, that are putting the Jags under some pressure. Darren Tay for Reitz, showing his experience there. But he's only won a throw. I think he was pitching for a goal kick. Spin on the ball just took it to the wrong side of the corner flag from a Tanjong Pagar United point of view. Faritz, firmly backed by Geylang. And there's another foul, not the first foul that Rio Nishiguchi has been on the end of in this game so far. Faritz, always put Blake under a bit of pressure there. The Australian gets it back to Faritz. Oh, that was nearly a sublime piece of skill from Shodan Ishikawa. Kausa level. Haswan Halim, 34 minutes, makes it Young Lions 1, Balestier Kausa 1. He's equalised from the penalty spot, so we've had a penalty at each ground already. And now, this is where I think they can be dangerous, Tanjong Pagar United, this season. We've already seen one set-piece cause chaos in the Geylang area. I think they are going to be one of the strongest teams from corners this season with the height they've got. Nishiguchi, Lewis Jr., big unit, Blake Ricciota. We've already seen what he can do in the air for the equaliser. And early indications are that Rushiadi is going to be a decent deliverer when it comes to set pieces as well. But I don't think many people saw this coming when Geylang took the lead from the penalty spot, courtesy of Moresh on 19 minutes. The two arms go up. I've never really worked out whether that's just a bluff or it actually means something. They always seem to put the two arms up, occasionally one. Rushiadi, good delivery. Keeper comes, gets a punch to it. There's no red shirt on the edge of the area to mop that up. And again, Geylang, as they've already done once, will try and break quickly. And it's worked like a dream. Amy Recker through, just one defender between him and the keeper. Tries to play it through the middle. And there's a free kick there. He looked like he played the ball. And not just that, the card's coming out as well. Well, Dawinder Singh's going to get a yellow. The replay will be interesting, and now Faritz has put his hand on the referee. They've got to be very careful here. It looked a questionable call in real time. The replay will tell us more, but Faritz can't behave like that. You've got to get out the referee's face. He's already booked Dawinder. Remember the first game of last season, it was Geylang that suffered 2 red cards. Love to see the replay of that challenge. I mean, it looked to me initially that Dawinder had played the ball, but Lim Liang Yi didn't hesitate. They were under huge pressure here. It was Zikos Chua with the ball through the middle. Well, he did play the ball, and he was the right side as well, so if you've got anything of the ball, that couldn't have been a free kick, surely. Replay inconclusive. The referee's made his mind up. It's not going to change. Is he going to book Faritz as well here? I'll ask Farinera, expert reporter on the spot downstairs, to see if Faritz got a yellow card as well. And now they're saying that the free kick's not being taken in the right position and more yellow cards. This could degenerate very quickly. They've got to be careful here, Tanjong Pagar United. Is that Luis Jr. that's also been carded? They're furious. Well, now on the sideline, the Tanjong Pagar United coaching staff unhappy as well. They're involving the 4th official in their discussions. That 4th official was Jerman Zalton today. They're angry now. They will be furious if Chris Van Heusen can tuck this away. Still complaining. And again, I'm not entirely sure that's where the foul took place either. Well, I want to see that again at half-time. Dawinder Singh was the right side to get there first. If he touched the ball, it can't be a foul, surely. 2 green shirts over it. Surprisingly, the Brazilian Moresh isn't one of them. It'll be Darren Tay or Chris Van Heusen, and I just hope Tanjong Pagar United keep their heads if Van Heusen or Tay manage to score from this. Well, what about a dramatic start to the Singapore Premier League season? Now he's taken the ball back again, and now the referees kick the ball forward. Now Geylang are complaining. He's got to get control of this, Lim Liang Yi. Well, the referee took the ball back, then threw it forward. Extraordinary. Darren Tay and Chris Van Heusen. Van Heusen! Ooh! Right idea, wrong trajectory. And Tanjong Pagar United, and I think in the interest of fairness, it might be best for all concerned that that didn't end up hitting the back of the net. I need to get confirmation, and Fariner is working on this, about just who got yellow carded there. He certainly showed at least 2. It may have been that Farid's picked up one as well. Davinder Singh certainly was one of them. Well, plenty of talking points in this first half. We'll bring you the highlights at half-time as well, of course. That's going to be a relatively easy get for Delvinder. He's got to walk a tightrope now. He, of course, picked up a red card last season, so he needs to be very careful. Still furious on the sidelines of the Tanjong Pagar United coaching staff. There's another yellow card coming out for Blake Risciotto, where they're really adding up. This could come back to haunt Tanjong Pagar in the second half. Lewis Jr., I think, on a yellow. Waiting confirmation on that one. Blake Risciotto definitely on a yellow. Delvinder Singh definitely on a yellow, and perhaps Farid's as well. So I think at this point, Hazrin Jalani and Noel Alam Shah just need to get his team into the dressing rooms at half-time, all square, and calm everyone down. Darren Tay, he's been very influential in this game so far, Darren Tay. Enjoyed so much freedom on this right-hand side, it's not true. Is Din with one of his trademark Hollywood passes that finds its target as well, and that's a nice touch with the head. Oh, a more uncertain times, they get it back to Farshar, who does well under the circumstances to get distance between the ball and the Tanjong Pagar United goal, but they're coming again, Geylang. This could be a cruel blow for Tanjong Pagar if Geylang can take the lead before half-time. And that's a free kick that's going to go the other way. For the foul on Nishikawa by Amy Reka. Yes, just confirming, there was no yellow card for Farid, just Luis Jr. and Delvinder. So Luis Jr., Blake Risciotto and Delvinder Singh in the referee's book in this first half. (1-1) here, 1-1 at Jalan Besar. Young Lions, Balestier Khalsa, both games live on Singtel Star Hub, the AIA Singapore Premier League, social media channels and One Play Sports as well. No excuse to miss the action. Share this content, tell your friends, and let's get together and be positive, because let's be honest and open and give the support to these players from all 8 clubs as confirmation of Delvinder Singh's yellow card is up. All clubs, and I can vouch for this, I've met all of them in the build-up to the season, have put real work in, behind the scenes and on the training pitch. Signings have been made, money has been spent, and I think you'd be hard-pushed to agree, or disagree, I should say, hard-pushed to disagree, that it's been a cracking start to the campaign. After that thrilling 3-3 draw, the champions beating Hougang 3-1, and already 2 1-all scorelines that set up the second half nicely at both OTH and Jalan Besar. Might be a bit of space here for Luis Jr. to team up with Nishiguchi. This will be a partnership that might take some watching. Nishiguchi will try and win a corner here, I'd imagine. Unable to do so. It's behind for a goal kick. Well, all eyes on the fourth officials board now in these drink break COVID-19 times. I think the days of 1 minute time added on at the end of the first half are a thing of the past. We did, of course, have that injury to poor old Barry Maguire as well. We're told it's a hamstring, which means the Brazilian Moresh is on for an unexpected early debut for Geylang. So I'm assuming we'll get 2 or 3 minutes here. But they could run degree-level courses at university on how officials work out time added on at the end of halves these days. There sometimes doesn't seem to be much logic behind it. I'm going to pump for 3, but answers on a postcard is here's another free kick. This time it's Rusialdi fouled. It's going to be 3 minutes. 3 minutes of time to be added on for stoppages. The first thing I've got right this weekend. I think that's probably fair enough. A minute for the drinks break, a minute for the furore over that free kick that Geylang won on the edge of the area, and another minute for Barry Maguire's injury. Rusiadi over this, and again, they've got the physical presence to make a real nuisance of themselves from these situations, Tanjong Pagar. They've done it once already. Rusiadi, I'd imagine, is going to dink this over and just try and land it just inside the Geylang area. It's exactly what he does. Can they get a red head to it? They can. Can it drop to a red shirt? It does. Can they finish it off? Not this time. More than half an opportunity there. And Geylang with that trademark desire to break quickly from the Tanjong Pagar set pieces. Not this time as it's out for a throw on halfway. Balestier Khalsa have come from behind to take a first half lead at Jalan Besar. Young Lions led through Joel Chu. Balestier Khalsa equalising from the penalty spot through Haswan Halim, and they lead just before half time. The bright start for the Young Lions snuffed out, so both teams who took the lead in today's games haven't managed to hold on to them as we approach half time. Confirmation of that Balestier Khalsa second goal scorer to come for you shortly. That ball hanging up in the air, and Isdin's given far too much time and space to win it. And another free kick. Isdin hands it over to Van Heusen. Now, those of you with long memories will remember at the Hougang Stadium last season, Chris Van Heusen scored from a free kick from this kind of position. Some extraordinary goals last season, from extraordinary goals this. I just wonder whether he'll try and catch Fashar out here. Probably unlikely from that kind of range, but it wasn't too dissimilar from the distance he scored from direct at Hougang last campaign. Van Heusen drifts it in. It's hanging up nicely. Ichikawa gets there. And they manage to get it away. Courtesy of Delvinder Singh. Meanwhile, time for a quick counter from the men in red. Here's Nishikawa. Oh, Nishiguchi unable to get on the end of that, which was a shame. It was a promising movement, and that might just be that for the first half. And the referee, actually having shown a minimum of 3 minutes time to be added on, blows after 2.5 minutes. Scratch your head with me on that one, but nevertheless, a great first half of football. Geylang International 1, Tanjong Pagar United 1. The Eagles taking the lead from the penalty spot on 90 minutes. The Brazilian substitute Moresh opening his Singapore account, and then 90 seconds later, Blake Ricciotto back in the SPL, the title winner with Brunei, levelling it up after some good set-piece play from Tanjong Pagar United. Set up nicely in the second half. There are plenty of Jaguars on yellow cards. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be good. Second half coming up shortly back here at OTH. Stay with us. Welcome back live to our Tampines Hub at the break. Geylang International 1. Matthias Moresh from the spot on 90 minutes, having come on for the injured Barry Maguire early. The Brazilian making his mark in Singapore right from the gate. Tanjong Pagar United 1. Blake Risitio back in the Singapore Premier League, the title winner with Brunei, equalising just 90 seconds later. It's been spicy, it's been hot. There are the digits that dominate, the stats you need to know. 6 shots to 4. Somewhat surprisingly, Tanjong Pagar United registering 4 shots. I think 3 of them came in that melee when they actually equalised. They've had more shots on target than Geylang. And in terms of corners, Geylang leading that 2-1. The possession stats interest me. They're not up there, by the way, but 54-46 in Geylang's favour. I looked at that at half-time and thought it might have been more, but Tanjong Pagar may be enjoying more possession than it looked to the naked eye. Just to remind you, at the other stadium in action today at Jalan Besar, Young Lions led early through Joel Chu, but a Haswin Halim penalty, and then just before half-time, Jumbo Hoshino, another former Alberix player, getting the Tigers back in front. Marko Krajovic's men recovering from the early setback to lead. So we have now had 2 full games, 2 half games, and I think it's safe to say that the SPL is back with a bang. Here's the best of the action. Here's the penalty incident. Credit due to Zikos Chua for that, for delightful little cross, and it was Moresh that went down and won the penalty. He'd come on early in the piece for the injured Barry Maguire, who's gone off with a hamstring problem. That's a big blow to Geylang moving forward. So Moresh didn't hesitate, picked the ball up, slotted it past Fasara Skanda, sending the Tanjong Pagar keeper the wrong way, 1-0. So that was 90 minutes on the clock. As we see the penalty again. But merely 90 seconds later, the great free kick delivery from Rushaldi caused uncertainty. Plenty of credit here goes to Sharin Sabarin for the way he engineered that cross. And they were queuing up, weren't they? But it was the Australian Blake Risitio who almost used Faritz as a stepladder there to get up and head it past Zainal, who had no chance. And that was it, 1-1. Great delivery there, clear uncertainty. And Blake was unlucky not to get to that set piece initially. But all the credit in the world for this. It's an assist-worthy cross from Sharin Sabarin, and the former Geylang man plays a big part in putting his new club on level terms. Now, this was a chance for Amy Recker, who constantly found himself in plenty of space. A lovely touch to take it away from Faritz. Just that left foot effort, whistling wide of the left-hand post of Fasara Skanda. In fact, Amy was in dominating form. Suggestion of handball there, but it wouldn't have been given. And it was good work tracking back from Shoda Nishikawa that prevented him from getting in. Have a look at Nishikawa here. It's just enough to mean Amy Recker can't get a clean strike. Well, the biggest talking point of the first half came here. Delvinder Singh, after Zikos Chua had played the ball square, penalised on the edge of the area. There were 2 yellow cards shown, one to Delvinder and one to Luis Jr. for complaining. But fortunately for Tanjong Pagar United, Chris Van Heusen couldn't quite get the resulting free kick on target. So that's where we're at. What do you think is going to happen in the second half, folks? Great to see in your thousands you're watching this afternoon live on Singtel Star Hub, the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page, and One Play Sports as well. Be part of the conversation. Get behind the league. It's game on in the Singapore Premier League this season. And if we are going to bring back the roar, there's no better place to start than your AIA Singapore Premier League. We'll be back in plenty of time for the second half. Stay with us at the break. Geylang and Tanjong Pagar locked together at 1 apiece. We're about to see, back in Singapore football, having spent some time at Felder, Kyril Amri. Kyril Amri's about to come on for Hari Putradia. And Amaral is about to come on for Norfolk, as there's another coming together on the touchline, and the card's coming out again. And what colour is it going to be? Chris Van Heusen's rolling around. The referee, I think, sensibly has bought himself some time to think about this. Norfolk, who's just about to be substituted, but he went to the book, the referee, and then I think decided against getting the card out and settling just for the free kick. So confirmation of the double change on the way. Out goes Norfolk, who escapes a yellow card for that. And on comes Amaral. And Hari Putradia replaced by Kyril Amri. Now, on paper, that's going to give them more attacking bite. So, 2 of the 3 permitted changes for Tanjong Pagar United made, and an interesting timing as well, just 6 minutes into the second half. And they'll come on, those 2 players, with defending to do. Another set-piece opportunity for Geylang. There've been plenty of those this afternoon. Van Heusen will deliver. Punched away by Fashar. Being watched very closely and carefully by Ishikawa. Ishikawa's into the area here. Ishikawa! I wonder whether he might have been better off going for goal himself, having created the run into the area. Luis Jr. helping his defence out by trying to play it out from the back. And Blake Ricciotto makes sure his team wins the free kick. Remains 1-1. Apologies for the loss of our little score bug at the top left-hand corner of your screen, but fear not, I'll keep you up to date. 1-1 at the moment here, just coming up to the 53rd minute clocked in. So still plenty of second half action to come as Luis Jr. and his ding clash, but the referee deems it a fair challenge. I think correctly in that occasion as well. Balestier Khalsa have added a third against the Young Lions. Young Lions 1, Balestier Khalsa 3, Jumbo Hoshino's on a hat-trick. We saw Gabriel Quack and Yasser Hanapi get a brace yesterday. Is Jumbo Hoshino going to get the first hat-trick of the new season? That game also available, like this one, on Singtel Star Hub, the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page, and One Play Sports. Blake Ricciotto. Tippy-tappy with Amaral. Oh, that was telegraphed quite easily, and that's a ball through the middle. A nice flick to Moresh. Moresh has got options on this left-hand side with Van Heusen. Now Harith Kanadi. Harith Kanadi's got some time and space here. Can he thread a pass through? Moresh desperate to get the ball at feet. Here is Moresh, plays it through to Zikos Chua. There was just too much on that, and Zikos Chua unable to keep that out. It's behind for a goal kick. Of course, as things stand, if Balestier Khalsa can potentially get a 4th against the Young Lions and win by 3 goals or more, they'll be top of the AIA Singapore Premier League after round 1. Although I much prefer it back in my youth, when back in England they never used to even put up a league table till about 4 or 5 games in. Not so now, of course. They're doing, as it stands, league tables after 15 minutes of a season in some countries. And that was tempted clearance from Sharin was blocked. Nice play from Farid there. Really nice play to space it down the left. Kyril Amri wants this, and Kyril Amri's onside. Kyril Amri, Luis Jr. waits in the middle. They've got Ryo Nishiguchi as well, and the cross, unfortunately, is wasted. That was a real opportunity, you know, after a real good hold from Kyril Amri in terms of his run. But he couldn't back it up with a cross to match the anticipation. Zainal with the goal kick. No short goal kick there, and he's done well to find a green shirt First touch is a heavy one though, and Farid should come away with this, and now there's another challenge and another decision that goes against Tanjong Pagar, and this time Amarul is the guilty party, and there's another eagle down on the deck sprawled. And it's Moresh, I think, the Brazilian, who, to the surprise of no one, once the free kick's been given and the melee's calmed down, just jumps up like nothing's happened. Plenty of time and space here. There was an argument that Ricciotto's one might have been the foul on Zikos Chua rather than the decision that was given for the foul on Moresh. Tantalising situation this now. We've already played 10 minutes of the second half, 56 minutes gone. Geylang International 1, Tanjong Pagar United 1. Moresh from the penalty spot in the 19th minute. Ricciotto equalising 60 seconds later. Here come Geylang again on the edge of the area. That shot's deflected, and it could fall to a green shirt again. Headed back, and out wide. Van Heusen's on the chase here, and he's going to get there, Van Heusen. What's the cross like? It's good. What's the finish like? It's over the bar from Ichikawa. What a chance. Great work from Van Heusen. And those are the kind of chances that you'd fancy Ichikawa would put away. I don't think he appreciated just how much time and space he had. Meanwhile, maybe Balestier Khalsa aren't going top of the league tonight. Young Lions have got another one back. Young Lions 2, Balestier Khalsa 3. Surely not another 3-3 at Jalan Besar. 2 in 24 hours, that's impossible. 2-3. Young Lions trailing Balestier Khalsa. Here still 1-1. Moresh. And Moresh penalised this time for the foul on Amarul. The Brazilian not having it all his own way as Devendra Singh wants to take it quickly. Zikos Chua has other ideas. Farid gets the ball lost under his feet momentarily. It's over the top. There's a chase on here. Carol Amri, was that a little bit of a nudge? Oh, he's going to win the free kick here. I think initially Carol Amri might have had a bit of a dig in the back of Faisal. But the decision goes Tanjong Pagar United's way, and now there's going to be a word with Faisal for some dissent. Meanwhile, this is essentially a corner, a great set-piece opportunity for Tanjong Pagar United. There's another change coming. Zikos Chua is about to be replaced by Faris Farhan. So Faris about to come on for Zikos. He won't come on, I don't think, until this has been taken. Oh, what's he given here? Or is this just another signal? And this is a new rule where you can take throw-ins from inside the touchline when you're given a free kick. It's not, it must be some kind of signal. So here's me mocking the signals. What does this mean? I'm assuming it means you're going to get it in the 6-yard box and try and get a red head on the end of it. Look how many players are packed into that 6-yard box. What could possibly go wrong here? Poor old Lim Liang Yi is going to have eyes in the back of his head, so I fancy here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 players in the 6-yard box. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And it's headed behind by Darren Tay for a corner. Great game here. Great game at Jalan Besar as well. Another game that's available to you live. Kairin Nadim has got the second Young Lions goal. They're right back in it at Jalan Besar. Meanwhile, this man's been good with the ball in a dead ball situation. Rushyadi. Corner comes in, flicked on. Melee, can they get a finishing touch? It came off Blake Ricciotto, I think, last, and it's behind for a goal kick. Here comes that change we pre-warned you about. Faris Farhan on for Zikos Chua. So now both teams have used 2 of their permitted 3 changes. Apologies again for the loss of the score and clock in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Our top technicians are working around the clock to get that back for you, but no pun intended there, by the way. I can tell you we're just ticking over the hour mark now, so 30 minutes to play here. It remains Geylang International 1, Tanjong Pagar United 1. Zainul clears. It's not the best clearance. Carol Amri unable to get on the end of it, though, and hoofed out for a throw. Of course, we're delighted that thousands of Singaporeans are enjoying this AIA Singapore Premier League 2021 seasoning opening weekend. We know plenty of you are watching from around the world as well. I'm sure that Marosh has brought some new fans to the Singapore Premier League. Blake Ricciotto as well will mean some Australians will be tuning in. And when we get a break in play, I'll tell you about this very unique stadium we're at this afternoon, our Tampines Hub, the stadium area here, part of a centralised community hub that's got cinema screens, libraries, shops, restaurants, theatres. It really is, as the name would suggest, the hub of the community. As another yellow card comes out, I'm losing track here. Amaral, the latest man to go in the book. We haven't seen a red card yet this season. I wouldn't want to bet against this game being the one to provide the first one. Remember, Geylang had 2 red cards in the first game they played last season against Albirex. Yes, so if ever you get the chance to go to Singapore, obviously we're all hoping to welcome the world again when COVID-19 calms down and travel becomes another facet of the game. Do come back to this. It's a very unique environment here at Tampines, and I think, even though it's got a unique visual, it's a wonderful cauldron of atmosphere when it comes to football. And when it's buzzing again and full up, it's going to provide some special AIA Singapore Premier League memories, I'm sure. Van Heusen over another set piece, and these set pieces for both teams are mounting up, and you get the feeling if we are going to get another goal, like the first two, it might come from a set piece. Directly or indirectly, Van Heusen teasing cross, headed away by Ricciotto, only as far as Harith Kanadi on the edge of the area. Harith Kanadi, with neither a shot really nor a cross, gets it back into the area, and Fassar Iskander gobbles it up. Free kick for the foul by Sharon Sabrin. He's not one of the players that's in the referee's book. Yuki Ichikawa. Intelligent football to get it to Harith. He'll be looking to release either Maresh or Van Heusen here. Tries to thread it through to Maresh. It was a very bold, ambitious attempt. And Blake Ricciotto can bring it away. Lewis Jr. is on the chase. It was a lovely ball through from Carol Amry, but Lewis Jr., I think he might have just misjudged the run of that. It looked initially that he was going to be able to get there comfortably, but it wasn't to be. There you can see the score button clock return to the top left-hand corner of your screen. Hats off to our top technical team who've brought that back to life. Here, Geylang 1, Tanjong Pagar United 1 at Jalan Besar Young Lions 2, Balestier Khalsa 3. And of course, the other feature of the opening weekend, to back up my claims that we're going to be more competitive across the 8-team division this season, is every single one of the 8 teams that have played in the first day have scored. And again, the cynics will say, oh, it's because the defences aren't very good, but let's be brutally honest. I'd rather have goal-scoring action than thrilling 0-0 draws. That's just me, again, as I said, game of opinions, everyone's got one. If you disagree, you're welcome to it. There's one thing's for sure when it comes to football, whether it's the Singapore Premier League, Singapore National Team, English Premier League, FIFA World Cups, European Championships, Asian Cups, Asian Champions Leagues, which of course Tampines will be in this season, AFC Cups, which of course Geylang will be in this season. There are many different opinions. And Geylang cough up possession, but get it immediately back. Elijah Lim looks like he's going to last at least 70 minutes, maybe not the full 90. They've still got one change they can make. Geylang still on the bench for them is Adam Hakeem, would be the obvious one, but I'm assuming Noor Ali would rather bring Adam Hakeem on when they're defending a lead. That's not the case now. Bit of space for Blake Ricciotto to operate in. Gets it left to Carol Amry. Lewis Jr. waits in the middle. Carol Amry got the overlapping runner to use. Nishiguchi, lovely give and go, across the face, and that's a wonderful piece of goalkeeping from Zainul. And there's a man down off the back of it. It was an accidental coming together, but he had to be very sharp there. Is that Harith Kanadi on the deck? I think it is. Meanwhile, on halfway, there's another injury as well. We didn't see too many players going down with cramp yesterday at Jalan Besar, just the one, I think. Wouldn't be surprised if we get more than one going down with cramp in the closing stages of this one. In defence of the players, of course, the pre-season preparations have not been ideal. All clubs, as my understanding has it, were only able to play one proper pre-season match. It's Amy Recker that's down, incidentally, on halfway for Geylang, and Harith Kanadi that's down in the goalmouth for the Eagles as well. And while they've been training in their set groups on the training ground, nothing replicates the hustle and bustle, and more than that, even the adrenaline of a full match situation. And these players, these coaching staffs, everyone is pumped for the return of the AIA Singapore Premier League. Now, as the Eagles watch on, keep socially distancing, guys. Don't make me come there and check you're a metre apart. "25 minutes to play here, so this has turned out to be an unofficial water break, and rather frustratingly, I would imagine we might have another one in a couple of minutes. Taking a while to get restarted and get reorganised. Here's that good bit of goalkeeping from Zainal that led to that little bit of a melee. What a turn that was from Nishiguchi. Very nearly played it into the path of Kyril Ambry, who'd started that move. That would have been some goal. Lewis Jr. sends it back to Zainal to get us restarted. 24 to play. I'm wondering if referee Lim Liang Yi is going to count that break as the water break. We'll find out in a couple of minutes. I think it's supposed to be about the 68, 70-minute markers. Lewis Jr. is penalised for the high foot. That sent Harith Kanadi down to the turf again. Yes, and again, I'm not necessarily blaming the referee for this observation, but it has been a game that's been dominated by the referee's whistle. And in defence of Lim Liang Yi, a lot of the time that's because there have been clumsy challenges. We'll talk, I'm sure, more in the days and weeks to come about the Delvinder Singh yellow card just before half-time, but players haven't helped the referee to a certain extent. That's over the top. Harith Kanadi will have a chase here. Just checking that that ball doesn't hang up, but Faso Iskander claims it safely enough. Going long, Route 1 stuff from the Jags, but the loose ball will be picked up and wasted ultimately, unfortunately. And with Kanadi unable to find a teammate with that delivery. There is still 21 minutes to go at Jalan-Besar, 2-3. Young Lions 2, Balestier Castle 3, and 22 minutes to go here, where it's 1 each. Interesting, I can't make my mind up whether I think there's a third goal coming here or not. Get the impression there's going to be a couple of real opportunities in the remaining 22 minutes, and there's plenty of quality players out there capable of snapping them up. Shot to Delvinder. It's gone out of play. Shadi unable to stop it crossing the touchline. Ichikawa using his experience to fend off Lewis Jr. there. Headed on well by Van Hughes, and that was handball, I think, wasn't it? Well, they're screaming for handball. I think they may have had a point, but Moresh is going to win the free kick for the tug back after the potential handball. Replay again there will be interesting. The fact that they weren't so vociferous in their complaining make me suggest that the handball shout was maybe a half-hearted one. Here's Moresh. Haven't seen much from him in the second half, in truth. The fact that he started on the bench suggests that Norali didn't think he was 100% ready. He scored the penalty, and he's played in a nice pass there, but there's no runner trying to come through the middle to get on the end of Elijah Lim's ball through. One thing about players like Moresh is they can be very quiet for half an hour, and then all of a sudden just takes one moment of their undoubted quality to make a difference in a game like this. Speaking of which, here's Blake Ricciotto. Referee wants that taken again. Oh no, he doesn't. We are going to have that water break. About 2 minutes after we stopped. That's not the referee's fault either, that's the directive. A bit like the VAR debate. Some people in favour of 5 subs rather than 3, some people in favour of the water break, some people not, and of course some people in favour of VAR and some people not. 1-1 here with 20 minutes to play. Just to update you again with the score at Janaba Star, still Young Lions 2, Balestier Khalsa 3. But here, no goals since those early strikes midway through the first half when it was a penalty won and converted by Maresh that gave him his first goal in Singapore. The Eagles their first goal of the season and a first half lead against a team they beat twice last campaign. But 90 seconds later, after a good set piece routine started by Rishiadi, wonderful work by Sharin Sabarin down the right hand side with the cross coming back in, which was eventually headed home by Blake Rikiuto. They're the Eagles, the Ultra Eagles, who, just to stress, are not in the stadium. And I am looking around the stadium, and in fairness to all the great football fans of Singapore, they're all observing social distancing if they are managing to sneak into a nook and cranny watching around the stadium. There is Maresh's penalty that made it 1-0 after 90 minutes, and here's the goal by Rikiuto seconds later that made it 1-1. And that's how we still stand inside the final 20 minutes of this second stanza. Look at this, Blake Rikiuto. Lewis Jr. Oh, a number to control it. His control's not been the sharpest in this second half, Lewis Jr. Throw in from Rishiadi. Route one from Sharin. Well anticipated by Darren Tay, but he's been caught out in the second phase. Here's Lewis Jr. Options to his left, and he's... Oh, I thought he was going to find Karol Amory. Meanwhile, Ryo Nishiguchi, who's already shown glimpses this afternoon that he might be a fine signing, the title winner from Albrechts from 2020. Tanjong Pagar enjoying their best spell of possession in this second half. Can they turn it into a goal? Nishiguchi. Well, it wasn't how he intended, but he's found Rishiadi, and his cross hangs up nicely. The heads are up and headed wide, and I think there was a push there as well from Karol Amory. It's going to fully extinguish any chances they had of getting a goal there. Push into the back of Faisal. Van Heusen, again, it just skids beyond him, and the flag was up for offside in any event. This is ambitious from Faritz. Going to be caught out of position here if they can break quickly, the Eagles, and that they do. Marish. Oh, Marish is not going to be able to get to that. It had already gone out of play. It'll be a throw. I think fitness levels now are starting to take their toll. I think it's at the credit of the Sailors and the Stags yesterday that it really didn't start to show until the final 10 minutes, really, that it was the first game of the season here. There's some tired bodies out there. Has anyone got the energy in reserves to come up with something special, or is it going to be a mistake that leads to the winner? Here's Maresh. Maresh, narrow angle! The mistake has come, and the Brazilian has taken full advantage. The Eagles have two. Maresh has got both, and there'll be samba dancing in the streets of Geylang tonight if they can hang on for the final 15 and change. Well, he's finished it brilliantly, the young Brazilian. The Ultras love it. Some head banging going on up there. But Maresh, despite not looking 100%, has shown that quality we talked of earlier. To stroke the ball past Fashar Iskander after, let's face it, not a moment that Faritz will want to look back with any great fondness. It was horrendous defending, maybe brought on by fatigue. And they've come from behind once. Now the Jags have to come from behind twice. Question marks over that defence of Tanjong Pagar United that led in 33 goals in a 2-round season last campaign. And they've let in another here now. Mind you, they're lining up like they're an NFL team in American football, trying to get the equaliser straight away like they did in the first half. And hooping it past them. Plenty of red shirts forward. Can they get the cross in and find Lewis Jr.? They can't, but they will get a corner. Elijah Lim sends it behind. So, remember, the lead in the first half lasted less than 90 seconds. And as long as they take this corner inside the next 60, the same can apply in the second half to the lead they've managed to create. And once more, the man that helped fashion the first equaliser is going to be over a dead ball situation. It's Rujyadi. His delivery's been pretty spot on. I'd like to think those ladies behind are samba dancing in honour of Maresh, but I think it might just be a Zumba class in the corner of this wonderful community hub here in Tampines, OTH. Rujyadi. Packed in like sardines in the 6-yard box, uncertainty. They need to get a finish on it. Can they get it in? Oh, it's just whistled past off a deflection. And I think it was Faisal that got the interesting and crucial touch. That 6-yard box is going to take some managing by referee Lim Yang Yi. Can they get the flick on here? No, it's this time headed away. But it'll be a Jaguar that picks up the loose ball. Amaral. Decent delivery. There's an eagle down on the deck, but I don't think the Jags will be stopping. And now, I think, just to check it's not a head injury, referee Lim Liang Yi will check, and it's obviously just cramp, and Harith Kanadi's down for the second time in 10 minutes, and I hate to say it, but we will start seeing some... Got to give Harith Kanadi the benefit of the doubt there. I think it may well be cramp, but as is the case, not just in Singapore, not just in Asian football, football all over the world, clock management, to call it its polite term, might start to come into play. Now, let's have a look at this. Another great corner. Keeper Kane got nowhere near it. Karalamri with a nice touch back, and what an important interjection that was from Faisal. Might have just saved his team 3 points instead of 1. Still 3-2 to Khalsa at Jalan Besar, incidentally. Young Lions 2, Balestier Khalsa 3. Maresh. Well, now you've got Hasheno on a hat-trick at Jalan Besar. Maresh on a hat-trick here. There was a brace for Gabriel Quack and a brace for Yasser Hanapi yesterday. Not forgetting as well, a brace for the new Albrecht Nagata sensation. They've got a conveyor belt of top players, haven't they? Suboy with a double as well. So what a start that is. In an 8-team league, 4 fixtures. 5 players have scored braces already. No one, though, has been able to carry off the match ball, and it'll be a special match ball if someone gets a hat-trick. As of course a new ball sponsor in the AIA Singapore Premier League this season, our friends at Select, providing the match ball. Well, for the second time today, it's going to be a Geylang player stretch it off. I don't think Harith Kanadi's as badly injured as poor old Barry Maguire was in the first half, but nonetheless, they're going to be forced into the third and final change here, Geylang. I can see down below. They are readying themselves, and now they've got that league, surely it would suggest that Adam Hakim will be the man to come on, and that is indeed the case. I can see Adam Hakim beneath me getting ready to come on. Confirmation to follow. Meanwhile, Tanjong Pagar United driving again, and they'll get another corner here, I think, and this time Geylang furious with the decision. Oh, now the referee's overturning the original call, and I think the fact that the players aren't complaining too much from Tanjong Pagar suggests they get it right. So, confirmation that Adam Hakim will come on for Harith Kanadi. He had a good game, Harith Kanadi. He's been around so long, it's easy to forget that he does qualify as one of the younger age group players. Adam Hakim not in that bracket anymore, but an able defensive unit to bring on. Lewis Jr. making sure that Geylang don't kill more seconds off the clock, which is their enemy now. We're rapidly approaching the final 10. Blake Ricciotto. Oof, that was a robust challenge. And I think Blake Ricciotto that time knew it was a foul. Isdin will be in absolutely no rush to take this. Gets it back to Ichikawa. First touch for Adam Hakim on for Harith Kanadi, but it's not a great one, and Shahin Sabarin got a bit of time and space for now, but look at Moresh closing him down. I get the feeling the Brazilian's got the hat-trick on his mind here. Even though they lead, he's playing in a more advanced role than he has throughout the course of the game so far. Oh, Blake Ricciotto anticipated that well. Lewis Jr. in at close quarters will win a free kick, and again, there's no need to take this quickly. Load that penalty area with Lewis Jr. as that corner a couple of minutes ago proved. Geylang not bomb-proof from set pieces. They've conceded one already from a set piece. Ruziadi. Good delivery this, can they get on the end of it this time? What an opportunity! They seem certain to level it up, and I think in the process of trying to score, maybe a bit of cramp here, is it? Now was that Faritz over on that far side that tried to get the finishing touch? No, it was Shahin Sabarin. Well, it was a real opportunity. Look at the replay here, look at the yellow boots of Shahin Sabarin. He's got to score. He has to score. He's goal side, the goal at his mercy, and maybe the injury might have been to try and take away from the fact that that's a gilt-edged opportunity. That's arguably their best opportunity of the game, Tanjong Pagar United. He's just got to make contact, and it's 2-2. Zainal goes long into the final 8 minutes we trot. Amy Reka. Space for Isdin here. What is he going to try and do? Outside of the foot, plays it Adam Hakim. If Tanjong Pagar United got any reserves of energy, they've had one glorious opportunity to equalise. Will they get another one, or will it be Geylang that put the game to bed with a third? And speaking of a third, you are not going to believe this. Remember yesterday, Jalan-Besar? Sailors 3, Stags 3. The latest score from Jalan-Besar tonight, 24 hours later, is the Young Lions 3, Balestier Khalsa 3. They led 1-0, they trailed 3-1, and now it's 3-3. Extraordinary scenes in the Singapore Premier League on opening weekend. And they've still got 5.5 minutes there for someone to find a winner. There's still time here for Tanjong Pagar to find an equaliser. Over the top, looking for Lewis Jr. Lewis Jr. goes down, and he's waved it away. Well, the question I ask here is, if he didn't think it was a penalty when he went down with the shirt being pulled, why didn't he just try and finish it off? Another controversial moment, where the protestations are half muted now. It was a wonderful ball over the top by Karol Amri. He's goal side here. He went down very softly, didn't he? I think that's what's done for him. Surely he'd have been better off trying to stick a leg out. They have got a corner, and their corner count is definitely starting to rack up. Their 5th corner of the game. Good delivery again, but just a bit too deep. Karol Amri will pick it up, though. Geylang aren't entirely convincing trying to defend this 2-1 lead. Can Tanjong Pagar United somehow find an equaliser? Or will it be another 4 days at least added on to their winless run? Surely 2 goals in 5.5 minutes is going to be beyond them. It's going to be another free kick. Rather cheap given away by Adam Hakim, and again it's in the kind of range where they can decide to launch it into the area. There is no need to rush this if you're Rushiadi. Marshalling his defence one more time is Zainal. They've dodged a bullet with the miss from Shahin Sabarin. Can Rusciadi's delivery create another opportunity for the Eagles? Swings out wide, and you have to be careful here because Amy Recker looks like he's still got some petrol left in the tank. They get it back to the last line of defence on this occasion. Shahin Sabarin try and get it to Blake Ricciota, who is optimistic if he thinks Delvinder Singh's going to get to that. It's behind for a goal kick. What a performance this is from the Young Lions. Bannister Kausa, having kept Christian Krajcek, Jumbo and Ensar, and made some decent signings themselves. They were, many people thought, dark horses to be real contenders. It's 3-3 there. Minutes and pace has gone out of this game. Tanjong Pagar United are huffing and puffing, but they've had their one real big opportunity through Shahin to equalise. They need to try and get another. Mureka, like his teammates, will be no rush to restart here. Istin's over it. Chris Van Heusen's in absolute mountains of space on the left-hand side, but it would be a risk to try and find him. But nevertheless, Istin's taken that risk, and it's paid off. Van Heusen, no nonsense. Boot through that one from Shahin. Istin again. Jaime Shahin was the 84th minute equalising goal for the Young Lions, incidentally. Zainul. Firm header by Blake, but not found a red shirt directly. Indirectly, it found Lewis Jr. And Adam Hakim belts it high in the sky and out for a throw. Kyra Lamry gets it back. They're enjoying plenty of possession here, but just the one real chance created from it so far. And the danger with numbers coming forward is they might still be caught out at the back for Geylang to get a third that really would wrap it up. But here they come down the right. Well kept in by Faritz. Faritz, good ball! Blake went for the spectacular! And it's taken a brilliant save to keep out the long-range effort that hammered in from Shodai Nishikawa. Best save of the game comes from Zainul with just over 2 minutes to play. It does, however, lead to another corner. And they do appear to be dicing with danger every time they concede a corner. This now being the 6th. Fine save as Zainul just ensured Geylang pick up their first 3 points of the season. As it stands, of course, with the other game at 3-3, it will be Albrechts, the defending champions, who will be top after the first week. Rusciadi plays it close to the keeper, who has a fumble at it and then wins the free kick. And that's the danger when you pack the 6-yard box like that. It's so easy for the referee to err on the side of caution and look after the defensive side. And Zainul will go down now and chew up some more seconds. Now, remember at the end of the first half, they showed a minimum of 3 minutes to be played, and we only played 2:30. So you can be absolutely certain that Hasrin Jalani and Noel Amshat will be all over the fourth official to make sure, A, that enough added time is chalked on, and then B, they actually play the allotted added time. They're into injury time already at Jalan Young Lions 3, Balestier Khalsa 3. That is extraordinary. 2 3-3 draws in 24 hours at Jalan. And this, of course, is a late goal. There will be 5 minutes added on, I'm told, by our lady on the line, Farah Nair. But, of course, that's 5 minutes from a minute ago. We're still only in the 90th minute. There's 30 seconds to play, so that should really dictate at least 6 minutes, depending on how long Zainul takes to get up and at him. Noel Amshat and Noor Ali have given it their all, along with Hasrin Jalani, of course. Mustn't forget the head coach of Tanjong Pagar United. He still looks a little bit uneasy, Noor Ali, here. And the added time is going to be up for debate now, because we are officially on 90 minutes now. 5 minutes were added on, but that was 2 minutes ago. They haven't played any football since then, so in theory it should be 7. By the way, that's not an idiosyncrasy that's unique to the Singapore Premier League. Football globally, for me, has a problem with managing the correct amount of time to be added on. Blake Ricciotto. He's in goal side here, and he goes down again. They want a penalty once more. Nothing doing. This time, Ricciardi going down wanting a spot kick. Faritz, as he tends to do when they're chasing games, now in a very advanced position. Well won in the air by Sharin Sabarin. Drops to Faritz. Blake will pick this up deep. Karol Amri's out on the left-hand side. Karol Amri off the backside of Darren Tay. Rio Nishikawa. Cleared by Van Heusen. They've just got to keep their cool here, Geylang. And that's another free kick that will help them chew up some more seconds as Elijah Lim hits the deck. Already played 2 minutes of time at Jalan Besar, still 3-3 there. Well, that was a no-nonsense challenge from Shahin Sabra, and he can't really have any complaints that the free kick's been given for that. But of course now, how much time is going to be added on? It says 5. That was before Zaino was down for a good 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Did Maresh handle there? Referee says no. Lovely touch from Maresh Frans van Heusen. Maresh worried out of it by Faritz, but the throw-in will go to Geylang. What a weekend it's been. If it stays like this here, wins for Geylang and Albirex. Losses for Tanjong, Pagar and Hougang, and of course the other 4 teams all with a point apiece, unless there's late drama at Jalan Besar. It's a free kick on to Tanjong Pagar United that I'm not sure Maresh necessarily agrees with. He looks fit, Maresh, doesn't he? He looks like a lean, mean footballing machine, but you can be sure his match fitness is in a little bit of question. Fasho is scanned up. There's no option really but to send this long. Fasha, route 1. They need a big man with a flick on here. And all they get is Geylang's big man, Yuki Ichikawa, sending it directly the other way where Maresh is offside. Utterly exhausted now, poor old Maresh. Well, it's been a disappointing second half, ultimately, you have to say. It's not been pretty at times, but Geylang won't care if they go on to win the 3 points. But the way the game is going, you just feel there may be one little bit of drama for them to see out before the 90 minutes is up. Final whistle's gone at Jalan Besar. Young Lions 3, Balestier Council 3. That ends in a draw. Is there going to be late drama here to give this one a point apiece, or the 3 points going to the Eagles? Faritz, interesting cross, but no one attacking it. And it'll drop eventually to Amaral in the area again. That could fall anywhere. It comes off Nishikawa. Nishikawa does a really good job to keep that in initially, and then concedes the free kick, and that may just be that because Darren Tay's going to be in no hurry to get up here. Well, as the seconds tick away on this opening weekend, 2 3-3 draws, a 3-1 win for the champs, and now a 2-1 win for AFC Cup-bound Geylang International. Huge result that for Philippe Orr in his first official game in charge of the Young Lions. Congratulations to Philippe. Once more, our wishes go to Nasrin as he recovers from his bout of ill health. Throwing goes to Geylang. Do think Tanjong Pagar don't have much belief left in them now. They've had chances. Shahin Sabarin probably should have equalised with 10 minutes to go. But it's going to be a story of players hitting braces that's going to dominate the headlines at the end of the first weekend. Gabriel Quack, Yasser Henapi, Jumbo Hashino. of course, Suboy, all hitting 2-goal hauls on the opening weekend. Now, played that out rather nonchalantly in the end for East Farhan. Tanjong Pagar are going to go coast to coast in what realistically is probably only 30 seconds. They're giving it a go though. That's a lovely ball over the top that's found Carol Amri, but his touch lets him down. Referee is adding a bit of time on to the 5 minutes, as he's quite right to do, bearing in mind that injury to Zainul. The question is, from a Tanjong Pagar United and a Geylang point of view, how much will he add on? They've got to get the ball in the area. Delvinder Singh over the top. It's flicked on by Nishiguchi. Lewis Jr. can't get there. And that will be that. Referee Lim Yang Yi blows for full time. The Eagles, 4th place last season, start this campaign for a win. And the long wait of 2,334 days for a win for Tanjong Pagar goes on till at least Wednesday. The story of this game, well, 2 goals in the first half. Moresh, who came on as an early substitute for the hamstring victim Barry Maguire, slotted home a penalty that he won on 90 minutes. 90 seconds later, after a good set-piece routine involving Rashadi and Shahin Sabarin, the former Eagle, it was Blake Ricciotto celebrating his return to the Singapore Premier League with his first goal of the season to make it 1-1. Bit of controversy before the break when Tanjong Pagar were incensed that Delvinder Singh was yellow-carded for a challenge on the edge of his own area. But into the second half, with 15 minutes to go, it looked to be petering out to a 1-1 draw, but tired limbs started to tell for the Jaguars, and taking advantage of some less than stellar defending by Farid was the Brazilian again, Marish, to finish his first game in Singapore with 2. It's finished here, Geylang International 2, Tanjong Pagar United 1. So that's the tail of the tape here, folks. Just to wrap up what happened at Jalan Besar. 3-3 finishing there. I'll give you the scorers from the Jalan Besar game in a minute after we run through the highlights of the game. That was the penalty that Moresh won in the 19th minute. Some people might call it soft, but the referee Lim Yang Yi made his mind up very early on. Moresh sending Fashar the wrong way. It took him precisely 5 minutes to score his first goal in the SPL. Real good penalty, gave Fashar the eyes and sent him the wrong way. But that lead was to only last 90 seconds. Rashadi's free kick. Break Riotta nearly got there the first time. Shahin Sabarin with a lovely turn to get the cross back in. And they were queuing up, weren't they? Could have been Farid. Ended up playing Blake Ricciotto to make it 1-1. Look at that delivery again, right in the danger area. Zainul decided to stay near his line, and it just caused that uncertainty that the Jaguars took advantage of. So that was 1-1. It stayed that way until 15 minutes before the end, but we'd had more controversy in the first half. Amy Rekka going very close, just pulling that shot wide to restore the Eagles' lead before half-time. Wonderful touch to take the ball away from Farid. And Amy Rekka was involved once more. It was a very important interjection from Nishikawa that stopped Rekka getting his first goal of the season. He could have had a couple in this game himself. Here's that moment involving Delvinder Singh I spoke about. No, apologies, it's not. It's that other challenge. This is the Delvinder Singh incident. Zikos Chua with a square ball, and Delvinder Singh penalised. The resulting free kick from Chris Van Heusen. Not that handsome, not a million miles away, but didn't hit the spot. Into the second half we trot. And this was early on as well. Van Heusen with a lovely cross. And Zikos Chua unable to keep the header on target. Van Heusen put in a couple of good crosses in the second half that could easily have turned into a goal. Here's Van Heusen again. Keep an eye on Yuki Ichikawa this time. Right inside the 6-yard box. He'll be disappointed he didn't put that away. And at that point, Geylang didn't look that convincing in terms of being capable of getting the winner. In fact, Tanjong Pagar United themselves had chances. Nichiguchi down the left-hand side. Wonderful cross, and Zainul gets down well to stop Tanjong Pagar taking the lead. But this was the key moment. Farid's very casual from a throw-in his own territory, very similar to the goal that Lion City Sailors conceded late yesterday against Tampines, and Moresh showed his quality to capitalise. And it was that goal 15 minutes from time that ended up deciding it. Not that Tanjong Pagar didn't get at least one opportunity to level it up, because Shah Rin Sabarin really should have made it 2-2 from this little melee. Keep an eye on it as the ball goes. So it wasn't actually that chance. I think it was the chance after that. That was the one that was deflected back out for another corner. Here it is. Lovely free kick again from Rashadi. And Shah Rin Sabarin unable to slot it home. And look, it was a real opportunity. He's got to sweep this one into the back of the net with his right foot. Couldn't do it. And Zainal saves. So that's how it ends here. 2-1 to Geylang. Just to tell you what happened at Jalan Besar. Young Lions led early through Joel Chu. There was a penalty for Haswin Halim, and then Jumbo Hoshino giving Balestier Kausa the lead in first half injury time. Jumbo got his second right after the restart, and surely the points would be Balestier Kausa's. But Khairi Nadim made it 3-2, and then 6 minutes before the break, Jaime Shahim made it 3-3. So an incredible weekend comes to a close. I'm not one for league tables after one game of the season, but obviously Albrecht Nagata, the defending champions, will end the opening weekend top of the table. What a game it's been here. What a weekend it's been. 3-3 Sailor Stags, 3-1 Albrecht Haugang, 3-3 Young Lions and Balestier Kausa. And here Geylang International have won by 2-1. Don't forget on Wednesday, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 games. Quadruple header for you. Balestier Kausa, Tampines Rovers for you at Topayo. Haugang Geylang will be with Geylang again on Wednesday as they go to the Haugang Stadium. Tanjong Pagar United will be at Jurong East as they face the mammoth task of taking on the Lion City Sailors. And the Young Lions will be at Jalan Besar to take on Albrecht Nagata. That's on Wednesday. Don't forget to check back on the social media channels of the AIA Singapore Premier League for the post-match interviews with the managers. Farah Nair on the case with that as we speak. Also check back with the AIA Singapore Premier League Facebook page and When We Play Sports for all the latest news and views and opinions across the AIA Singapore Premier League. And don't forget to join us again on Wednesday for more great action from the 2021 season of the AIA Singapore Premier League. #GameOn, and we are definitely bringing the Raw back here. Stay safe, everybody.